That Kawhi Leonard trade that could send him to the Toronto Raptors is now held up as the NBA's Aspiration investigation has to come to its conclusion first before the NBA will approve that trade. What does that mean? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, Steph Curry's talking about LeBron James and the possible pairing there no longer just being a fantasy conversation where you used to feel like it was a pipe dream. And apparently Peyton Watson is getting interesting because the Atlanta Hawks are a team that have now entered the fray to try to acquire the talented wing. We're talking about all this plus more on today's The Full Court Podcast.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA City.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of The Full Court Podcast. My name is Haize, and more importantly, you guys can follow us at The Full Court YT on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, wait, before that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We got to go to get into 10,000 subscribers by the start of the 2026-27 season. That means we're 4,500-ish subscribers away from getting there, and we can only get that done with your guys' help. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. About 60% of you guys that watch the channel every day have not yet subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to the goal. In exchange for that, I'll be giving you guys the best daily NBA and basketball content around. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So the Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors trade is right now on hold. This is very interesting because what this means is that the NBA is basically saying that there could be some serious punishments that come down because of this that could lead that trade to not possibly being approved. The league officially informed the Raptors that they would assume any risk for a potential punishment if Leonard that could impact his contract and his availability. The Raptors have been in extension talks with Leonard, which was a major driving force of the trade, as the Clippers have signaled they didn't have interest in a long-term contract. For this, as it stands right now, right? If this trade were to go through, it means that the Raptors would have to assume any bad risk. Would mean that a big trade that they are trying to complete that included sending out Brandon Ingram, Gradey Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. That hey, if the NBA finds that they have to suspend, void, or whatever Kawhi Leonard's contract, that the Clippers could still be out in the hole because of that, right? And so at this point now, the trade is on hold. The NBA is not going to approve it as of right now. Now, the Los Angeles Clippers have released a statement from them that says this: for the past 10 months, our organization has fully cooperated with the NBA investigation, participating in dozens of interviews, providing tens of thousands of documents, and facilitating access to our staff. While the process has been challenging, we've remained committed to our transparency. On June 30th, we reached an agreement in principle to trade Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors. We have since informed the trade can only be finalized if the Raptors ownership group assumes the risk of the penalties related to Kawhi's contract that could theoretically result from an ongoing investigation. The investigation is ongoing, and we expect the trade to be finalized in its conclusion. At the heart of this investigation are Joe Sandberg and Aspiration. We did not funnel any money to Kawhi Leonard through Aspiration. Like many sophisticated investors, financial institutions, and business partners, we are victims of fraud initiated by Sandberg, who has been convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison. Now, the part of this with the Raptors is that reportedly the Raptors have said they are still eager to bring Kawhi Leonard back to Toronto and look forward to a swift resolution for our players, our organization, and our fans. Reportedly, the NBA Board of Governors will meet in Las Vegas next week with the Summer League, but a resolution still seems like it's going to be a few weeks out. Per Shams, he said this: we don't have a specific timeline for the conclusion of the investigation, but expect the firm to finalize its work in the coming weeks. So this leaves one of the biggest trades of the NBA offseason right now in limbo, right? And I think in regards to this one, you have to ask yourself, what does this mean for this trade? And then the other players and stuff that are moved, like everything's on hold right now. And the Raptors and the Clippers both are still, they've made other deals. The Clippers have made other deals now with signing Rui Hachimura and other players as well. And then you look at the Raptors, they're trying to gear up, possibly bringing DeMar DeRozan in and all that type of stuff. With this, the fallout of this could be a major offseason earthquake, right? That's why it's a major story. The trade part of it, take that for what you will, right? But a blockbuster trade is literally on hold because of this investigation. The Raptors, the Clippers, the players, the fan bases, they're all impacted by this right now. And the Raptors have to ask themselves, like, is the NBA saving them from themselves? If a major kind of sanction or ruling comes down because of this investigation, that something happens to where Kawhi Leonard is somehow, let's even say at the worst, suspended, right? You have just made a trade and traded out assets for a player that you're not going to get, right? So Kawhi Leonard's contract, all that type of stuff, that's a huge question in all of this. And we'll see, right? Now, this could end up being some noise. At the end of the day, the Clippers who deny any wrongdoing, the NBA could conclude its investigation, even though Pablo Torre seems pretty confident that some wrongdoing happened. But, with the Clippers fully cooperating, that this could all go by, and at the end of the day, this trade goes through as it was originally presented, and that's it. Now, one could say as well, does this force both teams to go back to the drawing board? Could the Los Angeles Clippers, because of the inherent risk, right, if this trade ends up going through, could they end up saying, well, hey, instead of the 2 first-round picks, we'll give you 1. Instead of the pick swap, let's remove that pick swap. Like something like that, right? We'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like as long as this investigation is going on, as much information as Pablo Torre was able to find out in his own investigation, what is holding this up to where the NBA has not been able to corroborate that at all yet? Again, that's my thought. Listen, I think something funny went on personally, and I think that, but at the end of the day, like, the question I still have on this, and this is just me kind of spitballing at this point, is Kawhi Leonard isn't even on the contract that he signed during all this went around. He signed an extension since then. So would they really be able to void a contract? Well, like, how much punishment could they do to Kawhi Leonard at this point with he's not even on that contract anymore? I don't know, right? But this is unprecedented territory, and therefore the Board of Governors and the NBA could decide to do some unprecedented shit, to be quite honest with you. And I guess we'll see what's going to happen in regards to this one. But this is bigger than just Kawhi. It's bigger than this trade. This is how the NBA is going to police and hold its policies to the business, the sponsorships, and the salary cap rules. And we'll see what happens, because especially as contracts balloon out, those type of things, you want to get any type of salary cap circumvention, you want to get that punished harshly, because that's what you should do. So we'll see what's going to end up happening in regards to that. But let me know what you guys think on this down below. Do you think anything ends up happening in this as far as the trade not going through, or do you think the trade's still going to go through? Let me know what you guys think on that part down below. With that said, I want to talk about this Peyton Watson thing a little bit more. I know we got LeBron news, right? But I'm kind of tired of talking about the LeBron thing. Reportedly, the Atlanta Hawks are a team that's now you can count as being interested in Peyton Watson, right? And reportedly that it may take a Walker Kessler-like deal for Denver if you want to complete a sign and trade. So we'll talk about that a little bit. This one comes from Jake Fisher of the Steinline, who says this: Atlanta sources say has also shown some fresh interest in Watson, which will likewise require a sign and trade to make happen. That said, whether it's the Hawks or the Clippers or any other suitor, sources maintain that the Nuggets are seeking compensation on par with what Utah received from the Lakers in the recent sign and trade swap that made Walker Kessler a Laker. The Lakers determined interest in the 7'2" center, netted 2 first-round picks, 2 first-round pick swaps for the Jazz. Sources say the price point has been too rich for the Clippers or the Hawks when it comes to Watson. Now, some people could say that in some ways the Peyton Watson may be a little bit more proven than Walker Kessler. I don't personally believe that. I look at the Walker Kessler situation and what he's gone through since he's been in Utah. He's been on a team that's tanked and that's held him out and that hasn't been motivated to really use him to the best of their abilities. But I think when you look at this, right, Denver is right to ask for a high asking price. Peyton Watson is young. He's athletic. He's a two-way forward. He's switchable. He's just coming off a career-making year for him as well. And you don't want to lose a restricted free agent for nothing. That is the point of restricted free agency. You have the right to match and you have some control so you don't lose a player if you choose not to do so for nothing at all. And with multiple teams reportedly interested in Peyton Watson, the Nuggets should be using that as much leverage as possible to get themselves the best deal that they can if they decide to move off of a young player like Peyton Watson. Now, the side of this that you say the asking price is too rich, 2 first, 2 pick swaps is a huge risk, especially for a team like the Atlanta Hawks, who are the only up and up, but they haven't made it to an ECF yet. They aren't necessarily a finals contender yet, and you could need those picks to go all in on a different trade or continue to add talent around Jalen Johnson and the talent that you've built there. Peyton Watson has upside, no doubt about that, right? But he's not a proven star yet. And you, on top of having to pay him almost like a star and having to give up future assets, it's right to ask yourself, is that asking price far too much? The Lakers were desperate and didn't have that many future assets to give up to maintain anyway, right? Their window is a lot shorter because they have Luka now. The Atlanta Hawks, on the other side of that, have a much longer window ahead of them, much longer road ahead of them, even if they aren't contenders immediately, to where they may not want to give that up. And the Clippers, it makes absolutely no sense for them to give up all that for Peyton Watson right now, considering they're at the start of a rebuild of their roster themselves, right? So Denver could very well price themselves out of the market. And if they do that, they have to be fine with what the results are. But Denver is not wrong for, as it stands right now, pricing Peyton Watson like a premium wing because that's what you want to do, right? So I think in regards to this, you can make your case for yes on the side of either team, right? Like, of course, any team can use a young, athletic, defensive wing that can guard multiple positions. You have one of those already. For example, in Atlanta with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, to be able to pair two of those guys together, it will wreak havoc on defenses and both guys having the capability to score. But the price of Denver that he's asking, teams aren't wrong to necessarily bulk at that price either. And like I said, especially the Atlanta Hawks with where they are right now, they don't have to push all their chips in right now. They are a couple of years away from necessarily needing to push all their chips in right now, and therefore don't do it. If you feel like you have that time and your runway is long enough, you do not have to do that yet. You don't have to be forced into making a move yet to take away all those assets, but we'll see what's going to happen. Let me know down below, though, what you think. Do you think that Peyton Watson is worth 2 first-rounds, 2 first-round pick swaps, or do you think Denver is going to eventually have to come down off that asking price, or just buck up and just pay Peyton Watson to keep him in Denver? And then if you need to trade him later, we've seen a lot of teams do that as well. That would mean paying the second tax apron for Denver, but at some point, you got to pay to play. Let me know what you guys think on that part down below. And then as it seems like every day, we have a little bit of update in regards to LeBron James. We got quotes from Steph Curry when his conversation with Anthony Slater of ESPN, when he talked about the realistic chances of pairing up with LeBron James, where he said this: up until probably 2-3 years ago, that was like a pipe dream question or even a thought. But that's part of the allure. Him going into his 24th season, me going into my 18th, the battles we've had, that would be such a unique story in NBA history, in sports history, but a little premature right now to talk about. I don't have a percentage. It's kind of up to him. I feel like any place he calls and says, I want to play there, you move mountains to make it happen. The pitch is, do you want to play good basketball and be around people that know how to play the game? Hopefully raise our floor and our competitiveness this year. That's a good golf in the Bay. We're an organization that's been there. He knows that. That's really self-explanatory. It's a matter of where he sees himself fitting. At the end of the day, that's up to him. So, Steph with the realistic take here in regards to LeBron. LeBron he's gonna go where the hell he wants to go. And I think that's why it's become not necessarily as alluring conversation for me anymore, because LeBron's gonna go and he has earned the right to go wherever the hell he wants to go. That's it, right? Of course, Steph acknowledging that it's no longer just a fantasy is great. LeBron and Curry reportedly talking, exchanging texts. Draymond's, ship with LeBron James, bromance. That's the word I was looking for. Steve Kerr coaching both in the Olympics. The story is there on why the Golden State Warriors could realistically pitch LeBron to come to Golden State and for them to have a chance to legitimately win a title. But at the end of the day, it's all up to LeBron. And if LeBron would have to take less money to go to Golden State, and if he's going to have to take less money to go anywhere, why not take the place where you feel like you're going to have the best chance to actually win a title? That's it. That's all I can say in regards to that one. So I would love to have a more fleshed out conversation in regards to this, but it's just not interesting to me anymore. I hope LeBron goes to wherever he goes, he has success, whatever varying degrees, and that he gets to celebrate the end of his career the way that he sees fit. That's it. Whether you're a LeBron fan or not, I hope that he gets to close out his career the way that he wanted to close his career. And that's not a lot of people that get to do that. Between injuries, between whatever, not a lot of players get to close out their career and shut it down on their own terms. LeBron has the chance to do that. That's the part about this is special because not everybody gets that. And we'll see how he decides to end and close out his story. And I think that too, people are assuming this is going to be his last season. It very well may not be either, right? They have to leave the door open for a lot. LeBron could sign a 1-year mid-level exception deal to go to a team. If that don't work out, do it again. We could be doing this again next season. Who the hell knows, right? So we'll see what happens in regards to that. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Full Court Podcast. Make sure you guys sound off in the comment section down below on all the topics covered today. I want to hear how you guys feel. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or an upload. You can follow us at the Full Court YT. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. The full NBA Central Show at gmail.com. Still got to change that. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball and NBA related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
been a presentation of the Breaks Media.